MoviePass wants to turn a corner, but legal difficulties might be preventing them from doing so. Hey everyone, this is Kevin T. Rodriguez, film critic of iCritic.net and shareholder in Helios and Matheson. And MoviePass has been trying to relaunch their service in a sense. They want to go back to being a good service. They want to work with theaters properly. They want to be at least somewhat what they used to be. Now that doesn't mean $10 a month for unlimited movies, but they are planning on like an unlimited plan coming back, and they're planning on working with theaters again. In fact, they are so eager for new customers that when I resubscribed to MoviePass, which I was only unsubscribed for like a month, so it's not like this was a long time. I just, didn't know how to get the new plans. They sent me not one, but two MoviePass cards as if I could actually use both of them. And they're even doing things like this. Look at that. They are showing off billboards in Times Square as and their new VP person, I forgot what his exact title is, said, "Proud to reveal our new ad campaign. MoviePass should never have been controversial, but we all could come up with multiple reasons for why it was. It's time for us to put the past just there and to pave the path forward. MoviePass, let's go to the movies," which is that's a cute little slogan, a cute little ad. Look at that. I think that's all very nice. Here's the problem. They're still going to be controversial, and in fact, I love that let's bring the past to the past, because unfortunately for him, people don't feel the same way. In fact, they're suing MoviePass again for a bait and switch, which is interesting because a few weeks, maybe it was a couple months ago, I forget at this point, Cinemia got sued for this very thing, for a bait and switch, because they started charging fees for the movie processing, ticket processing. And if you wanted to use like the card, they deactivated the card. And then they brought the card back, but now you got to pay $15, which I actually do think is unfair. Like, well, what if I already have a card? Can't you just reactivate? Like, oh no, you got to pay an extra $15. So it's like, oh, well, anyway. So this is I think this is a little bit more leg to stand on based on who's suing. And just keep in mind, if you had a MoviePass card at all, I don't think you're going to be able to just take advantage of this, because this seems specifically targeted to one group of people. Here's the article. 2 MoviePass subscribers filed a class action lawsuit on Friday alleging that they were able to see only 3 movies over 10 months due to routine blackouts. Lawrence and Lori Weinberger of Sea Cliff, New York, alleged that MoviePass engaged in a deceptive and unfair bait-and-switch scheme when it sold them each an annual pass in March 2018. They each paid $105.35 based on the promise that they could see any movie in any theater on any day, up to 1 per day. Now, before we continue, that's interesting. I kind of wonder where they paid for that annual pass, because the Costco annual pass was, I believe, a little less money. I think it was. I think I paid like $89 plus some tax for mine, so that would not have been $105. And the most recent annual passes that they have put up, those are not, they didn't cost that either. So, and most of those annual passes are a little less restrictive. I mean, if you get the limited, a year of the limit up front, then yeah, you're still going to have restrictions. But if you pay just a little bit more, and I highly recommend you do, you could have any movie you want. In fact, when I activated my card last night, it was fun to go to the theaters, go to one of my local theaters, and see all the 10, 30, 20, and 40 shows that I could now see again. I didn't see anything because I'm going to see Cold War today, but, So anyway, however, the suit alleges that when they checked for screenings on the MoviePass app, often none were available. They ended up seeing just 3 movies, and the suit alleges that MoviePass refused to provide a prorated refund for the annual pass. Well, okay, here's the thing about annual passes. And it might seem like I'm taking MoviePass's side on this, but I'm actually on their side more often than MoviePass, but I do want to look at both sides. But the first thing is, annual passes are never prorated. They never are. That's one of the ways they make money off annual passes, from the people who buy them and don't use them. Because if you could get pro rates for a pass that you don't use, guess what? Gym memberships would not have a viable business model. Because most people sign up for the gym and they go once, twice, maybe a couple months, but then they don't go and they stack a bunch of fees and costs, and people never go. They just don't. And they bank on that. So not using it is not MoviePass's fault. Now, here's the thing. Of course, if they're limiting the movies, that's another matter. But here's the other thing that I'm a little questioning about this, just a little bit, because MoviePass was still working in full form in March 2018. It wasn't until like July or August, whenever Mission Impossible 6 came out, that you started having some major problems with the service and being able to check in. And the way that they're making it sound, it's like, oh, you mean since March all you saw were 3 movies? Well, you know, if that's the complaint they're basing it on, there were a lot of months where they could have just seen whatever they wanted. And if they had just magically, conveniently decided, oh, after the app started wonking out, then we're going to want to start going to the movies, that I don't think MoviePass can win that argument because, again, this was actually a problem with most of the annual passes that people bought, is that it was supposed to stay this way forever, and then it didn't. They forced people off of it, even though, again, the other idea of the annual pass is that you lock it in and it doesn't change, and MoviePass did not protect those people, which I believe is one of the main reasons people are so upset at this company, because they didn't even protect the annual pass people. Although, in all fairness, again, with those people, you know, let's continue for a moment because I'm getting ahead of myself. The class action suit was filed in New York. Another class action was filed in San Francisco in November, so alleging that MoviePass had reneged on its promise by blacking out certain popular movies. The New York case seeks to represent all customers who subscribed to MoviePass between February 2013 and August 2018. The suit alleges claims of deceptive advertising and breach of contract. The case was filed by Michael Reese of Reese LLP in New York City. Last month, MoviePass rolled out new pricing plans. So here's the, I think the batteries on my mouse are going out. Here it is. So, okay, there wasn't much more. But here's where things can get really tricky. And I don't know who's going to win this one, to be honest. MoviePass might just settle. Who knows? I mean, that's kind of what companies do these days. See, here's the problem with the annual pass concept. You pay a certain amount of money. For me, it was $90. I also got the Fandor subscription as well for a year, so that was far from a waste of money, even when it started getting all wonky on me. And they are advertising you can use this every day for as long as for a whole year. And then somewhere, sorry, my neck is itching for some reason, somewhere in the middle of all that, they change their plans. And that's not what's supposed to happen. When you pay for the year up front, you're supposed to be able to use it that way. MoviePass did change the terms of that. Now, that said, MoviePass also did prorate in that particular situation. Now, what they are claiming here in this suit is that MoviePass did not offer the prorate at all. That, hey, we could only use it 3 times. It was always blocked out. But again, here's where things start getting a little tricky for them, because they got it in March, and the service was working fine and dandy up until late July, early August. And if they were not taking advantage of it at that point, like, that's a weird thing. Why aren't you seeing movies? You paid for it. Something tells me they were not using this thing long before. And then maybe they saw all this stuff on the internet like, oh, you mean you can't just see anything? Well, let's check oh, you're right. It's not, so let's file a class action lawsuit. MoviePass did not do right by the customers. That is absolutely clear. That is why they are so furious. But here's the thing. If you signed up for the annual pass, it did work for most of the year. And when it was no longer doing what it was supposed to do, they gave you the option to get out of it and prorate you because the terms had changed. I don't know if you could actually sue MoviePass for that as a bait and switch. I mean, yeah, it's disappointing, but they offered refunds. So, I don't know. Now, if they offered a refund and you asked for a refund and then you didn't get a refund, that's a completely different thing. Chances are you could sue for that, but I don't know. I'll let a judge decide that. So, here's the thing. MoviePass is definitely in a bad spot. I mean, if I were them, I'd probably settle this real quickly. Or who knows, maybe this might be worth fighting because there's too much variables here that I don't know if this is a open and shut case as some people think it is. I know a lot of you watching are probably like, oh, well, Kevin, there you go. You're defending MoviePass again. No, I'm trying to think of it from all points of view. Like, did MoviePass do something that could really get them in trouble with this? And I mean, yes, potentially they did. Because again, the whole point of an annual pass, you buy it and you lock it in. That's also why they don't prorate you if you don't use it, because it's like, well, hey, these were the terms. I mean, if you didn't follow them and found out you weren't using it that much, well, that's on you. That's not on us. But MoviePass did change the availability of the movies. You couldn't just see anything after a while, and so that does create a problem. But they did offer refunds for the rest of the month for those who didn't want to do the new terms. So that is actually very rare for annual passes. Even Cinemia did not do that. This might be where Cinemia had the bigger leg to stand on, or the customers, I should say, when suing Cinemia, because Cinemia added a bunch of fees after people had signed up for like a year and said, oh yeah, no, we're not refunding any money, which it's like, that's not the point. MoviePass did offer refunds, so it's going to be interesting to see what the judge actually decides, or if they decide to settle. I think this one might actually be worth fighting for them. Who knows? But I would like to ask what you folks think. Do you agree, disagree? Do you think MoviePass was a bait and switch? If you had the annual pass, did you accept the refund for the remainder of the month? And if so, did you get it? I would love to know. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even those little $1 a month goes a long way to helping this channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.